Hello and welcome back. Thank you for joining me. My name is Danica. For this class, we have a Vinyasa planned, really digging into the hamstrings and hips. So if you're like me, you've been really tight through the back of the legs and in the legs just from prolonged sitting with working at home online. So please join me in this Vinyasa. It is a little bit more intermediate based with some of the transitions we'll be using and some of the poses we're entering. However, there are always modifications you can do, so feel free if you are a beginner or new to the practice to still give this class a go. I am 25 weeks pregnant and will be modifying some of the poses myself as well, so you're more than welcome to look at the video and just get an idea of how to modify some of the poses for you too. We will start at the top of our mat in a standing position, so letting your feet be hip distance apart. Arms down by your side, palms facing forward. Just take that long, drawn-in breath through the nose. And that full releasing breath out. Feel yourself ground in this position, feeling strong, stable. And we'll keep that sense, that feeling throughout the entire practice as we move. On your next inhale, let's sweep the arms up overhead. Maybe your eyes follow. Exhale, folding over your legs, soften through your knees. Inhale, lifting halfway flat back. And exhale, plant your hands, step back to a high plank. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, find your baby cobra or full bhujangasana. And exhale, tuck the toes, downward facing dog. Draw the belly in, let your heels descend toward the mat, pushing through the arms. Tailbone lifts high, feel the stretch through the back of the legs already. Maybe the first one of the day or the first one of our practice, so notice that maybe it feels a little bit tighter, and as we move through, this pose will become more effortless each time. Just to work into the legs a little bit here, let's start to bend the legs looking forward and then pushing forward and back. Good, we'll come forward to a high plank, pushing back and downward facing dog. Good, high plank. Exhale, send the hips back and downward dog. One more, high plank. Exhale back, lift the hips, drop the heels. Good. Hold still here, strong through the arms. Fingers grip into the mat, head hangs heavy. One more breath. When you're ready, look towards your hands, walk or step forward. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep your arms high. And exhale, hands through heart center. Going into the next one. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, folding over your legs. Let's inhale, lift to a flat back. And exhale, fold. Step back, high plank. Shift forward and exhale, chaturanga. Inhale to your upward lift. Maybe it's a full cobra or upward facing dog this time. Exhale, tuck the toes, downward facing dog. Beautiful. Holding here. Find length through the sides of your torso. Both sit bones reaching high. One more time, look towards your hands. Walk, step, or hop your feet forward. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, all the way up to stand. And hands come down by your sides. Reaching the arms up high. Exhale, sitting into your chair pose. Hands sweep behind your low back, interlacing, finding that clasp. Open up through the chest and then folding over your legs as you breathe out. Let your hands reach toward the ceiling or fall forward in front of you. Head drops, neck is long. Feel grounded through your feet, a little micro bend in the knees so we don't lock into the joints. Let's inhale, hands come to the low back, we lift halfway, and exhale, planting your hands down, step back, high plank. Moving through your vinyasa, chaturanga, and your upward lift. And exhale, downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, drop both elbows down onto the mat. Finding our dolphin pose, really push through the shoulders. Let your forearms, hands, elbows all press into the mat. Find that same length through the torso and the upper body. I'm going to play around here a little bit with the arms. So look forward towards your hands, drop the hands down into the mat. And then at the same time, try to lift both elbows off of the mat. On an exhale, drop them both down. Inhale, pressing up. And exhale, dropping down. Good. To modify, you can always come up one arm at a time. And then switching directions, which arm you do first. Or a few more times, press the palms into the mat. Pushing up evenly through both arms. Exhaling down. Inhale, let's push up. And drop down. One more. Up. And drop down. Beautiful. Drop the knees to the mat. And send the hips back. Child's pose. Now your arms can remain long, reaching forward, or you can bring them alongside your body to release the shoulders if needed. Good. If your hands are back, walking the hands forward, coming up onto the forearms, knees pull in if you were doing a wide child's pose. Just take a moment to lift your gaze, lift your tailbone, and then exhale, rounding into the back. Feel the movement all throughout the spine, opening and rounding, closing in. One more. Beautiful. Bringing both hands down into the mat. You can push them up, tuck the toes under, finding downward facing dog. Now let's bring both feet toward the center, or together. Keep that left foot rooted, lift the right leg high. Now, toes point down toward the floor. Think about dropping that right hip slightly, lifting the left. Keeping the hips level and square. Every inhale, try to lift that right leg a little bit higher. Try to ground that left heel even more. Resist that tendency of rolling the hip open. Good. From here, let's start to lift onto our left toes. On an inhale, leg lifts higher. On an exhale, drop that left heel down. Drop the right toes toward the back left corner of your mat. Inhale, lift that right leg high. Once you reach the perfect height, or that's high as you can, lift onto the left toes. Let's exhale, dropping that heel, drop that right foot down toward the back corner of our mat. Inhale, lift. Lift onto the toes. Beautiful. We'll do that 2 more times. Drop the heel. Drop your right toes to the back left corner of your mat. Last one. Up and down. Good. Bringing that foot down to the mat, we switch sides. Lift that left leg. Good. Holding strong. Toes point toward the ground. Look back. Check that you're not rolling open. Right heel descends to the mat, pushing through the arms. Every inhale, try to lift that leg a little bit higher. You can always do this on the forearms if the hands or wrists are sore. Let's use our next inhale, come up onto the right toes. Lift that left leg higher. And exhale, drop the heel down. Drop your left toes to the back right corner of your mat. Inhale, lift your leg. At the top, lift your heel then. Exhale, dropping the heel, dropping the toes down toward the mat. Good. 2 more. We're going to lift up. Feel the toes work. Exhale, dropping the toes down. Feel that extra stretch through the back of that right leg. Last time, we drop the toes down. Good. Inhale, lifting that leg high. And then exhale, drop it down to the mat. Walk your feet forward. Good. Let yourself hang heavy over your legs. Bend the knees as much as you need. Head drops. And maybe you add in that sway side to side. Lots of work in the arms. Let's bring ourselves up to that flat back pose. Looking forward, hands come behind your back, interlace, open the shoulders up, and exhale, fold. Hands move in front of you or towards the ceiling. Good. Dropping the hands down to your low back. Plant them to the floor and step back to your high plank. Chaturanga, move through your vinyasa. Exhale to our downward facing dog. This time, inhale, sweep the right leg high, and exhale, step toward the top of your mat, grounding your back knee. Inhale, arms sweep high. Grab a hold of your left wrist. Exhale, coming into that side bend. You can walk that right foot off to the side of your mat, wider base of support. Find your balance, shoulders over the hips. 1 more breath here. Good, let's inhale, come up through to center. Exhale, dropping your hands down to the mat. Wiggle that back leg toward the back of your mat, coming into a deeper version of lizard pose. For now, we'll keep that right toes, right knee pointing forward. Maybe pressing that right knee into your right shoulder and drawing your right shoulder, pressing it over into your knee as well. Good. From here, let's start to send the hips back, pulling the right toes with you. A nice stretch again through the back of that right leg. Keep the spine long, keep the breath flowing smooth. And inhale, shift forward. And let's bring a bend to that back leg. Now, if it's comfortable for you, root through your left hand. Right arm will sweep up and back to grab hold of that left foot. Drawing that foot in towards your glute. Little bit of a bind here. Good stretch for your thigh and psoas. Good. In your own time, releasing that leg back. Hands come to the inside of that front foot still. Let's curl the back toes under and walk your hands to the left side edge of your mat. Lunging down towards that left leg, we extend through the right. Feel a long stretch through the inner side of that right leg. Now, if it's possible, try to drop that left heel. Try to keep your spine long and tall. Hands can come to heart center and hold. One more inhale. Good. Exhale, dropping your hands down. Press up. Walk your hands to the top of your mat. Turning toes with you. We'll step back to our high plank, moving through that flow. So you can always skip a vinyasa if you'd like. Just meeting us in downward facing dog. Same poses through the left side. Let's inhale, left leg high, and exhale, stepping it through to the top of your mat, dropping that right knee. Inhale, arms lift. Grab hold of that right wrist. Keep shoulders over the hips. Exhale into that side bend. Really try to feel the right side of your body open up. Good. Next, inhale through center and dropping your hands down with that out breath. Shift that right leg back, coming into your deeper lizard. Left shoulder presses into that left knee presses into that left shoulder. Long spine. Good. From here, let's shift back. Hips over that back knee. Pull the left toes towards you. Breathe into that hamstring. Good. Bringing the hands forward, lunging into that front knee, finding the bind once again, rooting through that right hand, bending into that back knee, and reaching towards that right foot, drawing it towards your glute, opening through that thigh and psoas again. Good. From here, releasing that leg, bringing that hand back down, curl the toes under and walk your hands over to the right side edge of your mat, lunging into that right knee. We feel extended and open through that left inner leg now. If we can, drop that right heel down. Hands can come to heart center. Tall through the spine, smooth breath. Bringing your hands down to the mat now. Walk them over to the top of your mat, turning toes with you. Again, one more vinyasa. Exhaling to lower. Inhale, opening up. And exhale, downward facing dog. Good. From here, walk or hop your feet towards the top of the mat. Find your halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reaching the arms high. And exhale, down by your sides. Good. Bring the arms up to shoulder height. And then exhale, let's twist toward the left side. So instead of using momentum, just use your abdominal muscles, twisting just as far as you can. Arms staying as an extension of the shoulders wherever they may be. Inhale brings us back through to center. Exhale, twisting toward the right side. Try to keep your hips towards the top of your mat, really bringing the twist through the entire spine. Let's inhale, come back through to center, bring your arms up overhead. Shift your weight over into your right leg, left knee lifts high. This time, exhale, twist toward the left, arms drop to shoulder height again. Keep that knee lifted. And your next inhale, bring the arms up, drop that leg down, switch sides. Exhale, right knee lifts, twist toward the right. You're turning into that front leg. Good. Inhale, come back through to center. Come up onto the toes, keeping the heels as high as you can, dropping down to our chair pose. Pull the belly in, shoulders pull back. Utkatasana, nice strong, fierce pose. Good, we're going into our next flow. Let's inhale. Keep the heels lifted as much as you can, even throughout this forward fold. As you go, keep them high, and your exhale to complete the fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, dropping your hands. Send your weight into the hands and step or hop back. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward lift. On your exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg high. Exhale, stepping through between the hands. Warrior one, turning that back toe out. Inhale, rising tall. Exhale, hands come to the low back, interlacing again. Open through the chest. If you'd like, stay here. On an exhale, let's fold. Humble warrior, dropping shoulders and head down. Your next inhale, come up. Sweep the arms right up overhead. And exhale, folding into your lizard. Turning onto the back toes, dropping the hips, gazing forward. One more breath. On your exhale, drop the knee down. Bring the heel toward your glute. Inhale, spiral your arm back. Exhale, pulling in. Get that stretch to your thigh again. Good. Let's inhale, releasing from the bind. Send your hips back and up. One hand on either side of that front foot. You can be in that pyramid pose. Hips are really square to begin with. And then we'll be turning this into our triangle pose. So letting your right hand root either on the inside or the outside of that front foot if you can. Left arm is going to inhale and spiral open toward the ceiling. Long through the neck, draw the shoulders back. Think about both sides of the torso being long and avoiding that C shape. One more breath, tuck that right glute under. And then exhale, let's drop that hand down. On your inhale, send that right leg all the way up and back. And on an exhale, move through your flow. A little bit of a scorpion if you'd like to drop that foot toward your head. Slowly lower down, drop the foot, inhale, and upward lift. Exhale, downward facing dog. Connect to your breath, centering here before we move through the other side. Good. Inhale, left leg will lift. Look towards your hands. Plant that foot in between. Warrior one, grounding through that back outer edge of the foot. Inhale to rise. Exhale, hands drop behind your low back, interlacing. Open up across the chest, and exhale, fold. Good. When you're ready, inhale, pushing away from that front foot, arms reach high, and exhale, find that lizard pose. Coming up onto the toes, dropping your hips. The knee can stay lifted off the mat here for a breath. Good. Exhale, dropping that knee down. Inhale, reaching the arm back as you grab hold of that foot. Inhale, releasing, hand drops to your mat, sending the hips all the way up and back, straight through the legs, finding your pyramid pose, hips square to the front. And then turning this into a triangle pose. Hand can root on the inside or outside of that left foot. Then opening the hips, opening the rib cage toward the right side. Sweep your right arm high. Really work on tucking that left glute under. Feeling long through the sides of the torso again. Long through the neck. One more inhale. And an exhale. Good. Bring that hand down to the mat. Turn the back toes to face the front. Inhale, send that left leg all the way up and back. Shifting forward. Exhale, you might begin to bend that leg and drop down through your chaturanga. Inhale to rise. And exhale, downward facing dog. Reconnect to the breath again. How's this downward dog feeling compared to that first one? Have the hamstrings, have the legs opened up and released? Let's look toward the hands, walk, step, or jump your feet forward. Inhale to rise, and exhale, fold. Inhale, sweeping the arms high. Good. Exhale, hands through heart center. Beautiful. Standing tall for a moment, finding a stable point where you feel very grounded through the balls of your feet, your heels. The energy lifting up through the body. That calmness washing down the body. We'll let our eyes focus on one spot in front of us to help with our balance poses here. Shifting your weight onto your left leg, we'll bring our outer edge of the right ankle onto our left thigh and sit back a little bit into that chair pose. So we've created a little bit of a shelf for that ankle to rest on. Keep the ankle flexed and strong. And then hands can come to heart center if that's comfortable for you. Feeling that glute, the back of the hip kind of open up here. Eyes focused. Wonderful. Transitioning this into hand to big toe pose. Your hand can always hold onto the calf or under your thigh if we can't quite reach the big toe. But from here, let's let our right fingers wrap around that right toe. Start to stand up. Hand or left hand can come to your hip, while the right leg now extends forward. Now a strap can always be used or a belt at home to help reach for the foot or the leg. Try to draw that right shoulder back. Keep your shoulders stacked over your hips. And then let's widen, open up. Good. We'll bring that leg back in front, releasing the grip. Hold the leg there, hands on your hips. Feel the thigh fire up, pull the toes back, help create that line of energy, that contraction through the front body. Good. On an exhale, we're going to send that leg back behind us. Inhale, drawing the arms high. Exhale, bring a bend into that back knee. Bring a little stretch back into that thigh. Belly pulls in. Press palms into one another. And then inhale, reaching the hands up, straightening that back leg. We'll step to the top of our mat and prepare for the left side. Take a breath. Return to that gaze point, your drishti point. And when you're ready, bring the outer edge of that left ankle onto your right thigh, sitting back into that chair pose. Dropping the hips, deepening the pose as you need. When you're ready, left fingers will wrap around that left big toe. Again, you can always grab under the calf or under the thigh for this one. Starting to stand up tall, right hand to the hip. Pull the belly in, shoulders stay over that right foot. Extend through the left leg, pulling that shoulder back. Shoulder blades engage onto the back body to keep the back body strong. Nice work. Good. In your own time, opening that leg up. And bringing it back to center, back in front. Again, we're going to release that leg. Pull the toes back. Feel that strength. Fire up through the front of the thigh. Every inhale, try to lift it back up. Push through that standing leg. Good. When you're ready, again, to release out a little bit, send that leg back. Whoop. Inhale, sweep the arms high. And exhale, bending that back knee. Pull the belly in, tuck the tailbone, open up. Good. Inhale, straightening the back leg, arms reach up. And exhale, stepping forward. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale down. Find 2 more breaths like that. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Next inhale, we sweep the arms up. We look, maybe we add that little back bend in. And then exhale, folding over the legs. Inhale, lift halfway. And exhale, planting your hands, step back to your high plank. Chaturanga. Inhale to open up. Exhale, downward facing dog. Now we'll come into a little bit of a movement here for the abdomen or core. So dropping the knees to about an inch or so, well, maybe 3 inches off the mat. And then we're coming into a bit of a bear. So we're going to draw that right foot toward the left side of our mat and open our body up here. So left hand will lift, and then we'll turn back. Left hand roots, foot roots, we switch. Left leg goes off to the right side, right hand lifts. Good, we'll do this a couple more times. Going to the left side and spinning toward the right side. Wonderful. Left side and right side. Let's go each side one more time. So opening up to the left and opening up to the right. Beautiful. Dropping down onto your knees. Let the feet swivel out in front of you. Take a moment here. Feel yourself now root through your sits bones. Pull your toes back towards you. And then coming into a forward fold. I'm going to go a little bit wider for the belly to have room, but you can keep your legs together. And then fold. Let this one be a little bit more passive. Don't worry too much about your form. Let this be a relaxing forward fold where it just feels good. Good. In your own time, then, sitting up. And bring your legs into a bend. And then again, now starting to lower down onto your back body, lying flat on your mat. From there, you're going to pull one knee in. I'm going to do this a little bit of a modified way. And then you're going to draw that right knee over to the left side for a twist. Arms out wide. Let that right side fully expand and lengthen. And then when you're ready, switching sides. So you'll pull that right knee back. You're going to draw that left leg in towards you and draw it over toward the right side. Try to keep both shoulders resting into the mat. And then when you're ready, lying fully on your backside, arms and legs spread wide. And in your Shavasana, take the time to feel your body. Recognize the difference in the way that you're feeling from the beginning of your practice and now. Give yourself full permission to surrender and rest here. I am currently avoiding Shavasana for my sacrum and baby purposes, so feel free to stay here as long as you'd like, and I will close the practice so you can continue. Thank yourself for practicing here today. I thank you for sharing the practice with myself. In your own time, feel free to close your practice. And from the light in me to the light in you, namaste.